Yeah. Yeah. And we don't even own an applause sign. Good evening, everyone. Well, Nancy Pelosi appeared drunk at the memorial for Grateful Dead co-founder Bob Weir. In her defense, she's been following the Dead for a very long time. Good joke. A little wordplay. Anti-ICE protesters in Minnesota are using the gay dating app Grindr to try and expose ICE agents, but so far they've only been able to match with one guy. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which means the only federal institution open today would have been Bill Clinton's pants.
What?
Yeah, that never closes. The mayor of Jackson, Mississippi signed a proclamation declaring Kamala Harris Day to honor all of her accomplishments. They're calling it Cinco de Drunko. And it will take place during Blackout History Month. Such a good joke. I like that joke. I like that joke, Tyrus.
No, it wasn't you, Greg. It was them. Fine.
Kamala was also awarded Jackson, Mississippi's key to the city, which was offered right before they took her keys to the car. Washed-up newscaster Don Lemon was spotted lecturing a pastor after a mob of unhinged protesters stormed a church in Minneapolis. It was there he told parishioners they weren't kneeling properly. Gotta put your back into it.
It makes a difference.
Yeah. The House Oversight Committee is looking into how Ilhan Omar and her husband went from being nearly broke to having $30 million in just 1 year. But she credits her financial advisor. Today is music icon Dolly Parton's 80th birthday. I know. Oh, it's okay. She can't hear you. If only she could get close enough to her cake to blow out the candles. And finally, French President Emmanuel Macron appeared in public wearing sunglasses, claiming he had a minor issue with his eye, denying rumors that he accidentally walked into his wife's penis. By the way, didn't she have the minor issue? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So as the chaos continues in Minneapolis, you can't help but notice some glaring contradictions. For example, the inventors of safe spaces now bum rush a church. Those who decry fascism now hunt down strangers, while those who claim to champion women's rights defend those who abuse them. And now those who condemn homophobia are threatening to out any ICE officers using gay dating apps. See, this is why I just leave my phone number inside bathroom stalls. Old school. But this isn't about ICE. You fall for that debate, they win. It's how a child arguing about bedtime wins because it prolongs the time they stay awake. But everything's collapsed into an omni cause. Borders, climate, cops, Gaza, Trump, it's all one shapeless tantrum. They'll demand vegan burritos, then complain it's cultural appropriation. Because outrage is the point. And who's the major presence at these lunatic protests? Let's ask the New York Times, who finally discovered the phenomenon the rest of us know as awfuls, affluent white female liberals. It's not even an insult, it's just a diagnosis. Sure, we had protesters decades ago, mostly young people acting out before paying the rent kicked in. But now you're seeing middle-aged women, some with kids, yelling at cops, invading churches. And you're left asking a basic question. Why are they screaming at strangers instead of home screaming at their brats? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I agree. Applaud. The media blames it on men moving to the right, but men haven't gone anywhere. Instead, women have moved radically leftward at a scale and speed with no modern precedent, while men have remained largely steady and unchanged. So this looks less like politics and more like a delusion. It's a fantasy where women play the rescuer, because in real life, that role is gone. And to fill that role, a rescue fantasy full of attention and accolades. It's a non-spiritual response to a spiritual need. So why is this happening now and not way back when? Because something happened. Society systematically stripped away actual female authority, especially the role of women as moral anchors, advisors, leaders in their own communities. And in its place, they were sold a lie. That meaning itself was meaningless unless it came stamped with activist approval. Family, motherhood, love, faith, that's pointless. And it couldn't have happened without a complicit media. Powerful women in newsrooms who glorified revolution, but who only protest when affordable housing creeps near their Hamptons beach house. Now you see women LARPing as saviors who feel less sympathy for their relatives than strangers, many of whom are criminals. Normally, there's a hard stop. It's kids. If you have them at home, you don't normally decide to charge a line of federal agents. When that line disappears, it's a clue that the brainwashing is complete. The affluent white female liberal isn't just awful, she's aimless, because the left's phony empowerment marginalized their real power. Their self-relevance was stripped away and replaced by a savior complex. As government expanded its role as provider, theirs shrunk. So what now? Well, women need guidance. Men got it already with the rise of the internet dad. Jordan Peterson, Elon Musk, Scott Adams, Mike Rowe, Joe Rogan, Adam Carolla, Tyrus, Tom Shalhoub. Guys who told young men to build, work, fix, and take responsibility, to focus on service and not ego. Maybe it's time for the internet mom, a woman who shows other women the way out of this spiritual dead end. Screaming at cops, invading churches, blocking traffic, that's not empowerment, that's exploitation. So internet moms, your time has come and the country needs you. So join us, because like pregnancy, men can't do it alone.
Let us welcome tonight's guest.
He looks like the guy who tells you to have his daughter back by 10. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. She's got a black belt in Taekwondo and how to make more dough. Financial analyst Heather Sabataga. She was a former Raiders cheerleader and has the arrest warrants to prove it. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno. And true story, he was once tag teamed by all four Golden Girls. Former NWA World Champion and host of Planetary Countdown. Tom, always good to see you with that little zip-down cardigan sweater of yours.
Yeah. I'm glad you're coming to me first, Greg. It's
Why
all
wouldn't
about.
I?
Yeah, you go hard on the women, and the women are crazy, aren't they? Shalhoub, join in on that. I loved your guy. You know, all those guys there. I'm glad. And then you put me and Tyrus in there with that great Hall of Fame.
But don't you know? Isn't it interesting? Okay, so if you're a guy and you want to look for guidance, you can find it. But what about a woman? Like, where do they get guidance from? They have their peers, which are often, competitive.
Yeah.
And then you have these other women that are bat crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the medical term.
They're out there, though, and I follow some of them. Who? Peachy Keenan, you know her? Yeah. I follow a lot of these women, and these crazy women who are out in the streets, they need to find influencers to,
But nothing stands out, Tom.
I know. And these women, it wasn't just that you did the gays story about the gays going on Grindr.
Yeah.
Women are doing it with other dating apps. There's that group in Massachusetts. You sent me the story today.
Yeah.
The women in Massachusetts, they said they organized a group and they're trying to date these ICE agents so they can dox them.
Right.
And I was like, I want to reverse it on them. Like set up a fake profile of like a really good-looking ICE agent. And then you sting them like Chris Hansen style. Like I walk out and I'm like, you made a date with this ICE agent? It's really a 13-year-old boy. And then just me with like a lollipop and a beanie. Like.
But I would tell these women that are doing this doxing, if they really meant it, they would have to sleep with the guy to entrap him. You need to have sex with the ICE agent before you can actually do it, and just to see how much they're into this cause.
I thought you were for ICE.
I'm saying only the hot ones.
Supporting ICE.
Only the hot ones.
I know.
I'm sorry, run that picture back. Show me the one.
Heather, what do you think about this political split? How, like, the New York Times is saying, like, oh, it's guys moving right. Guys are basically apolitical. They don't, like, sports is their politics.
Yeah, I mean, right. Sports is their politics. I don't know who has so much time. Are these people not working?
Yes.
To set people up on these apps to secretly expose their private parts or whatever they're doing? They're posting. How do you know that that's what they're doing, Tom?
Well, I'm not there.
Yeah, Tom, that's an excellent question.
I'm just looking, It's kind of like.
So, well, to your point during the intro, studies show that the majority of the younger liberal women have mental disorders.
Yeah.
So I think that, and that's not me, personal opinion, saying that. That's what the data shows. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And going back to they're exposing ICE agents on these dating apps. There are two reasons for these mental disorders. You probably don't have a job, so you're dependent on state welfare. Also, number two is that at the end of the day, the disbandment of families. You were talking about the women that don't have children. I think at the end of the day, if you have a family to go home to,
but some did have families. The woman that died had kids, dropped her off at daycare.
Right. Well, what kind of mom are you being by putting yourself out there and protesting? I want to make sure if I am a mother, that I come home to my child, I'm not dead or in jail at the end of the day. We want to make sure that if you're a mom, you go home to your children. That should be your first priority. Family first at all times.
Yeah, but see, the modern culture, the media academic complex said that was a patriarchal structure and that you don't need men, you shouldn't have kids, you should just lead your life.
That's the problem.
And government is your daddy, government's your daddy, and activism is your meaning. Emily, I don't want to write all these women off. That's why I brought up the idea of internet moms, is the idea that maybe there's a way to get them out of this mess.
I know, I've been thinking about, like, what defines influence and how deep does that run into a human? Because to me, there's no lack of influence in general.
Right.
We have people that are centered and their foundation is faith and God. That's an example was me. So I am unaffected by these earthly things. I know exactly where my moral compass is and what grounds me. And I have the pleasure of coming from a family that told me every day who I was. So I derive no value from what a guy thinks about me or what social media says about me or what I see in the mirror, right? But then you have all of these people that are clearly susceptible to other forms of influence because they have rejected outright and come after. Think about that whole faction of trad wives, traditional wives that say, I love being a mom and I love caring for my husband, I love running the household. And they've clearly rejected the strong, powerful women in the workforce. People like me, they like to vilify for saying exactly what I think and backing it up with facts, right? We are fascists and racists and all the like. They have issues clearly with women that go to work and keep their head down. They're worshiping the algorithm. To me, the irony is that these women pat themselves on the back and say that they are free thinkers or independents, but they are slaves to an algorithm concocted in probably the CCP or by some dork in the peninsula that tells Tom Shalhoub, that tells them this is what you should be standing for.
This is a very good point, that this could all be driven by China to split us apart. And I know people have talked about that. Tyrus, isn't it exciting to see the New York Times discover a word that's 2 years old, like offals, and then call it a slur?
Yeah, I think the problem, and this is not going to be very popular, but I don't care. It's your problem. It's the average man's problem and society as a whole, because we have built this structure to where women always get a pass. And what I mean by that is no one ever says a woman's a loser. If a woman has no job and no money, a successful man will still marry her.
Oh, I never thought of that.
If a man has no money, he's a bum. He's a loser. He's embarrassing. If he shows up and looks like they're like, look at that loser. When a woman does it, they go, oh, it must have been some man who did it. So there's,
But she's got to be hot.
No.
No, really?
No, and what we cannot do, and until we're able to do, is it needs to be okay to say they're losers. Those women are losers. They want to be this way. They think, because life, this is the problem sometimes of being in a country like America. You don't have to try. You can live in any fantasy you want and act any way you want, and especially women, because no matter, they don't get the same prejudice or attack that men do in terms of status and stature and where you're at. If you're a 60-year-old man and you still live in a small apartment, sorry, Joe Mackey, and you don't have a car, other men will make fun of you.
Yes.
Women won't date you. But if you're a woman in a small apartment and with no car, some dude's going to save you. So there's a very different, thank you. There's a very difference because we need to finally start going, you're unsavable, Greg.
Yeah.
This is who they are.
Yeah.
The difference is they have a lane now.
Yes.
It's just like before, pedophiles had to be in a car and hide and wine coolers and Snickers. Now they have the net.
Yeah.
They all now go places together and people will give them money to stand around and act upset.
Yes, like the people in front of our building.
Yeah, so they're performative art with no consequences. But here's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Any one of those women gets on a treadmill, gets some extensions, and maybe some stuff, and some man will rescue them.
All right, that was mind-blowing. I'm going to repackage that for tomorrow on the 5.
Nice.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.